Hey guys, Riley Quinlan here on Jemmy Inflatable Fans 98, and I'm not doing a review on this or anything. I just decided this is the only inflatable I have inside my house right now. All the other stuff has gotten moved. This one has was actually forgotten about, and this was left in my room. So I'm just using this as sort of a background, for what I'm about to talk about. So I know a few of you have been doing some videos on how you got started with inflatables and how you got into the whole decorating and everything for Christmas and Halloween and whatnot. So I guess I'm going to start here, and Jimmy John 8 will be making a video on this as well. And actually we're going to start doing a intro before all of our videos. Make the channel a little more professional. We have 52 subscribers, so I just wanted to say, first of all, thanks for all your support, guys, and help us reach 100 subscribers. We've been on here for 2 months, around 2 or 3 months probably, and we're already up to 50 subscribers, so that is awesome. Thank you for your support, guys. And yeah, so we're gonna tell you guys how I started with inflatables. So, I was born in 1998. I'm 17 now, for those of you that don't know. Basically, that was obviously before Jemmy came out with her inflatables. I know they made animatronics and stuff back then, but this is way before, or a few years before Jemmy making inflatables. So, kind of a funny story. I used to be really obsessed with bounce houses when I was a kid. So I mean, they're inflatables and stuff. I used to always be obsessed with those, and like the inflatable pool toys and everything. That was what I was really obsessed with at the time, before Jimmy came out with inflatables. And basically around 2002 when they first, I think they made one in 2001, which was that 8-foot pumpkin. I know that the Jemmy Pro has, and maybe one other for Christmas, maybe a Santa Claus. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure maybe that wasn't even a 2001. I'm pretty sure that was a 2002, and that's when they first came out with their inflatables, but I could be wrong, so let me know if I'm wrong. But anyway, when they first came out with them, I think the first year, I immediately, was obsessed with those because I was obsessed with bounce houses and everything. Just everything inflatable. It's always been what I've, always been something I've always been, sort of into. Just, like the inflatable pool toys, bounce houses, and everything. And then when they came out with their inflatables, like I said, I immediately had to get one. I was asking, my parents and everything, and, asking them for one. Just one, and I think this is a 2002, the one I had. Maybe it's a 2003, but I don't exactly remember the year because it was so long ago. But I remember we were at Costco one day, and this was during Halloween, around Halloween time, when Jemmy actually made their, their products cheap and way better quality than they do now. They had the 8-foot pumpkin and ghost, pumpkin with 2 ghosts at the at Costco, and it did have the fading lights at the time, I remember. It was something, my dad ended up picking it up and bought it for me, and I was super, super excited about it. And we took it home. Funny story about this: when we took it home, my old house we used to live at, it's about, it was a little bit smaller than the house I live in now, but it was still pretty big. The only difference was it was on a busier street than the street I live on now. The street I live on now is really quiet, so we don't get many people coming down and seeing my display, unfortunately. But anyway, we are it sort of ties into what I'm about to tell you. So we set it up in the yard for the first time. I was so excited. This actually, I think this was 2003, 2003, I believe, because I think this is the year they came out with the Spider, and that's when I got the Spider. Anyway, well, actually, maybe I don't know when the Spider came out. I know it was at least in 2002 or 2003, but anyway, we set it up in the front yard, and yeah, it was really windy that day. I don't even think we staked it down or anything. I don't even think, because we never knew anything really about them. I didn't, at least, like I do now, especially. But we staked it down. I go outside to look at it, because, I was really happy we got one and everything. I was so excited. I went outside to look at it again, and it wasn't in the yard. I was like, what the hell happened? My dad went, the wind took it and blew it halfway down our street, in the busy road. And I mean, I'm surprised. It probably did get run over or something. But, that was when they made the metal bass fans and everything. Those things were, like, awesome. Like, those were really, really high quality, fans and everything. And I remember, taking it back, and it was still working and everything. And I mean, it's still working to this day. Like, that inflatable has gone through a lot. So that was my first ever inflatable, Halloween inflatable. Then, came around Christmas time. I still have that the inflatable I'm about to tell you about. I mentioned that in my Christmas display video. It was my 2003 8-foot Santa holding the Christmas tree. I know Thomas, the Jenny collector, I believe I said that right, has the same one. And I know they came out with two versions, one with a wreath and one with a Christmas tree. I got the one with the Christmas tree. I got that at Target. My dad picked that up from Target for me. I remember going shopping with them, and like at the time it was like right when our Target first opened. So it was, the Target we have isn't that old. It was just opening or whatever, and they sold a lot of inflatables there, and my dad picked up that one, and I was super excited about that. I always wanted to set up my inflatables and stuff, really early. I was always obsessed with setting them up in the house and everything. And I didn't have that many inflatables. Like, I barely had any up until 2013, when I really started collecting a bunch. And I didn't really collect any of the older ones. I was buying the newer ones that were coming out each year, and just this past year, actually, or like a few years prior and stuff like that, I discovered Craigslist, and I started getting some off of there, some older ones, and this year especially, I've been collecting a lot of rare and older inflatables, classic inflatables that I never acquired when I was little. And another backstory. I was obsessed with The Grinch. The Grinch was actually the first ever movie I saw in the movie theaters. That came out in around, I want to say 2001 it came out, and that was the year my sister was first born. And I remember, going into the movie theaters. That was my first ever movie my parents took me to see, that I sat through the whole movie and everything. And they came out with The Grinch inflatable, I think, this year after. That was the one inflatable I wanted forever, and I never got it. Asked for it for Christmas every year, and I finally got that 4-foot Grinch. That's part of my childhood, but unfortunately I did sell it because I needed the money. So I'm kind of bummed out about it, now that I think about it. But like I said, I needed the money and everything for it. And also another backstory back to Halloween. I remember making, Halloween, or I remember, wanting the 8-foot wide spider that I have, that you saw in my Halloween display. I got that the same year after Halloween that I got the 8-foot pumpkin with 2 ghosts in it. Remember, my mom picked that up from Target for me after Christmas. So yeah, that's basically my story, guys. And I'm going to try to make this under 10 minutes. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Riley Quinlan at Jemmy Inflatable Fans 98. Like and subscribe.